Thanks a lot there, Bernard Fannis. We'll be getting back to Bernard and the Calabash community in a moment. Here are some of the stories making the headlines. The main opposition, United Workers' Party, continuing its series of press conferences on the performance of the Labour government, Wednesday questioned the Kenyatta administration's commitment to fulfilling the promise of establishing the Office of Contractor General. Former Communications and Works Minister Guy Joseph noted that to date there has been no effort in that regard. Mr. Joseph said he finds it curious that the government has not done so, given the criticisms leveled at the UWP for not having better accountability measures in the awarding of works contracts during its tenure.
How many contracts have you heard that were issued by the Office of Contractor General in St. Lucia? Or is there an Office of Contractor General, and is that office functional today as we speak? Because from my information, I understood that the Labour Party would wait for 4 years, do all the things they wanted to do with contracts, and then in the last year introduce the Office of Contractor General to say that they have done something.
Guy Joseph was also critical of the Labour government's pace at reconstruction post-disasters.
As late as November, a major road network like the Alan Busque Highway, which connected the north to the Mon and to the East Coast Road via the Tuapiton Link Road. As I speak to you, work just started on this project earlier, about 2 weeks ago. Work started on this project after 4 years. Is that a government who understands anything about reconstruction? Can you imagine the UWP being in office for 4 years after Thomas and their works? And I can tell you, if you pass Bacatel at the junction between Bacatel, Forestier and the Mon, there is a wall where the road is undermined since Thomas, and it has not been touched. Any vehicle can flip over and find themselves all the way down in Farah's estate. And that area has not been touched. There are roads in Forestier that was damaged by Thomas that have not been touched as I speak to you.
Meantime, Anthony Canway's candidate for the UWP, Dominic Fede, took the government to task for what he called the superficial approach to sports on the island. Mr. Fede believes there needs to be a clearly defined policy to harness talents.
Structured programs that will ensure that that young man is receiving the very best coaching technology from around the world, so that the athlete in other Caribbean jurisdictions or other parts of the world does not have an advantage on him. There's not a lack of talent in our country. What there is, there's a lack of focus, and there's a lack of management, and there's a lack of the harnessing of those skills. And what we have to do is to ensure that we move with haste for the creation of sporting academies, high performance center. There is a program that is implemented by the Trinidad government in the form of an elite athlete program, which we have seen how their cricket team have come up and have done well. And the Red Force team is a force to reckon with. But that didn't happen by accident. That happened because there was focus, there was a national strategy for the development of the sport, and it bared much fruit. Just an example that is very close to home.
The UWP spokesman on youth and tourism also raised concern about the number of secondary school graduates who access tertiary level education.
We continue to hear all kinds of intellectual theories and all kinds of blanket statements that have not solved the problem. And the recent decision by the government to increase the fees at Sir Arthur Lewis Community College is going to exacerbate the situation where a number of our young people are going to find it more difficult to attain tertiary level education. This has now become a minimum requirement to be competitive in this increasingly interconnected and globalized world. And we must give our young people the best opportunity. We must move with haste to ensure that more families can afford tertiary level education. If we do so, then I believe this future will be secured. If we fail to do so, like the blueprint of growth has failed to do, then I believe that we would have undermined and compromised the future of this country in all areas.